This book contains names and stories of First Nations people who have passed on. At times, it also covers issues of a sensitive and traumatic nature. These are voluntarily shared by First Nations AA members active in recovery from alcoholism, using the 12 steps of AA and supporting others to do the same.
My name's Mel, and I'm an alcoholist. My tribes is Mulliapa in the far western born in New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia border. I was born into alcoholism as my father, an alcoholic, and he has now been in recovery for over 50 years. They passed away last year. It was a very hard time growing up, as there was a lot of domestic violence. And I hated Dad for the way he treated my mum and for never being there for us. I also found life hard with my father being an Aboriginal and my mother white. I felt that I didn't belong in either world. And experienced racism at an early age brought about feelings of being ashamed of my Aboriginality. This led to me thinking that nobody cared about me. I was dumb, useless, stupid, less than others, and didn't fit in. I remember in the age of 12 that I didn't want to be like my dad and was not going to drink. And not long after this, when Dad joined Alcoholics Anonymous and stayed with us. One night when I was 15 years old, walking down the street with some mates in my hometown, Dubbo, we ran into some olive oaks who asked if we wanted to come for a drink with them. We all chipped in to buy a flagon of wine, and right in that first drink, I believe I did triggered the alcoholic geeky and consequences that went with it. Most of the night was a blackout. I'd vomited down the front of my shirt, only most to take me home. They saw the police and tried to hide behind a low fence. The police found me and took me home. Next morning, while I was vomiting the wine into a bathtub, Dad was standing over me and lecturing me about why I shouldn't drink. Before she opened the first drink, the denial started. All I could think of was that alcohol took away all those feelings I experienced as a kid and gave me a sense of belonging and fitting in. I chased that feeling for the next 10 years. When I was 18, a friend and I had been drinking one night at a pub. When I decided to drive, I faced another pub. Just after leaving the hotel, I picked up a young hitchhiker. I was only 16. A couple of minutes later, down the road, I'd lost control of the car when a van hit a telegraph pole sideways, which split the car in half. The hitchhiker was killed. My mate was in hospital for approximately 3 months, and I was only in there overnight. As a result of this, my dad took me to about 6 A.M. But the denial and the escape I felt through alcohol and drugs were far stronger than my ability to accept responsibility and consequences of my addiction. I thought that if it becomes a problem later, maybe I'll give AA a go then. Even though I couldn't accept it then, being exposed to AA was the best thing that happened, as the seed was planted. And I avoided another 7 years for the thought that maybe anything was a problem, or push it out of my mind and blame the world at my circumstances were. I was charged as manslaughter in Greater Bodily Harm and sent 3.5 years jail with 6 months, 12 months non-parole was the accident. And this time I went to my own meetings. My dad started like an alcohol counsellor in jail. The only reason I went to the meetings was to see Dad and get tailor-made cigarettes. Dad sometimes reminds me at the time he brought a lady who was counselling to the meeting. She was on leave from a mental institution, and I was in jail. Yet we both made fun of Dad being in AA. When the visit was over, he took her back to Poland, and I went back to my jail cell, and Dad went wherever he wanted to. This just shows the power of the denial, not being able to see where our alcoholism had taken us. By the time I was 25, I think my life is too hard. I'm crazy, nobody loved me, cared about me. I thought suicide as the main option. But still unable to see that alcohol was the problem. After the suicide attempt, a friend of the family who was a member of AA and the Drug and Alcohol Council called me and suggested I try AA again. This was the beginning of hitting my rock bottom. the start of the amazing life-saving journey. It took me a couple of months before I stopped drinking and smoking marijuana. Many times I turned up at weddings drunk in their stone, but I was always welcome and encouraged to keep coming back. This powerful example of unconditional love and support from the AA members. It was the last card in the pack. I'd been to jail, tried suicide, and at one stage, Dad had even threatened to have me locked up in a mental institution. I often quote my dad. He said that alcohol is only mentioned once in the 4th step. And that is in the first part of step 1. The rest of the program for living, which I had no idea about, and use drugs, alcohol to escape from. The most important part for me in the beginning of my recovery was realising that I was not alone, that others had felt the same as me, and there was a way out by coming to believe in the God of my understanding in the 12 steps. I struggled for a while getting my own belief in a higher power as I grew up with the church's concept, which was one of fear and punishment. The initiative is that I have a higher power, as doing for me what I couldn't for myself. That is, stop drinking and start believing. AA has extended my life over 42 years now. There's given me 5 children, 9 grandchildren. My love for my father, friends from around the world. But most importantly, it's given me a guide of my understanding of myself. The person that's trying to find through the bottle. I feel proud and immensely grateful for my originality. My father and the ancestors was a powerful example of what they endured and survived. Also for the wisdom, strength and guidance, show and do me where I am today. My higher power has allowed me to face up and become free from the shame, guilt, anger, fear, secret sadness and harm I've done to others. I now have a sense of belonging. Also, I'm not less of brethren than others, but equal, regardless of anyone else's standing in society. Always try to remember that the incredible life that has been given me is due to my Creator, to see and believe in the spirit of the universe. I remember my dad told me a story too about 40 years ago. He's up in the Northern Territory. He was working at Aboriginal rehab out of Castlemaine. And all the people there were very traditional. He said English in the 4th or 5th language. When he first started there, he was trying to explain to them what AA was and where it's come from in America. And one of the elders said to Dad, "It's definitely from America, old man. That's the way you always be." And that's the way I feel AA very much to be left with our culture. We all come together, working and supporting each other and sharing the story. And the knowledge passed down from the elders, whether black or white. Thank you for this opportunity to share it. And may a higher power be with my brothers and sisters lifting me up at all.